Okay, so today I would like to show you one of the first exercises that I have my students do when I show them how to practice ear training. Now, if you don't know, ear training is one of the most important skills as a musician. Okay, imagine if you did not have glasses, if you couldn't see, you had some problems with your eyesight and you just didn't have glasses. Well, you wouldn't be able to see anything, you wouldn't be able to do anything. You'd be completely screwed if you didn't have glasses. Okay? And just like that, the same concept is going to apply to ear training and music. If you can't hear what certain notes are, what's going on in the music, what the intervals are playing, what chords are being played, like if you can't understand what's happening in the music, it's basically like being blind. You just don't have glasses. You can't, like, yeah, you can sort of see, it's kind of fuzzy, it kind of makes you like, feel a certain way, maybe because that's how music is sort of designed. But if you just don't really understand what's happening in there, it's like being blind. It's being, you know, it's like having no vision, no understanding of what's happening in the music. So ear training is extremely important, and the things you're going to be able to do is maybe you'll be able to hear something, and then just play it immediately on the guitar. This is called transcribing, where you hear some music and then bam, you just play it immediately on your instrument. Or you'd be able to hear music clearly in your head, and this is how you'll be able to write songs in your head and be able to sort of have a really clear idea of what ideas you want to put in your music. You'll be able to identify pitches just by listening. This is perfect pitch, or even really good relative pitch, which is really understanding what's happening in the music and then being able to figure out like what notes are being played and all that good stuff. So it's actually pretty easy to practice this stuff. It's just that it sort of takes a long time, and it's really important. It's really important. So let's just go and start with the first exercise over here. I call it unlocking pitches. Now, what this means is that this is basically real-time training of picking apart what's happening in the music. So we're going to start by taking two notes being played harmonically, which means together. You play two notes together, and then you're going to want to pick them apart. So you're going to sing each note separately. You're going to hear them together, and then you sing them separately. And here's how that's going to sound. Now we're going to come over here to this website over here called iwasdoingallright.com. They have this nice ear training tool right here, and I set it up in this way. You're going to go to the melodies section here. You're going to select, well, the question is, which notes are you going to select? You could do only natural notes, A, B, C, D, F, G, which will be pretty easy to do that. You could do only accidentals if you want to. Or you could do mix all notes. If you already have a pretty good ear, then you can do all the different notes. The more notes you put in there, the harder it's going to be, obviously. Now over here, you're going to put each box is a single note. Okay, you have to kind of scroll through here. Melody length should be 2 notes. We are going to not restrict this to a single octave in this situation here. We're going to make this a harmonic interval, and then we're going to make this play automatically medium delay. You can put the tempo at 120 or something. The key center, make sure it's 1 octave down. Okay, it's really important. And then over here, we're going to put 12 repeats, so that way you can repeat this a million times, and all the other stuff is just whatever. So I'm going to start this. I'm going to show you the example of what I mean here. We're going to hear these 2 notes. Dun, dun, or actually the high. Dun, 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 dun. So, da, da. All right. And that's basically hearing 2 notes and then picking them apart. And you don't have to identify them, but you do have to hear them and then sing the 2 notes. Okay? La, 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 la. And that's why we want to do an octave down, because if you don't, these notes are going to be really high pitched. Okay, so that was a little bit of a mess. Let's try it again. La, 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 la. This is weird. la. Maybe those are the notes. La, la. Yeah. La, la. It's actually a lot harder than it seems to do this. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. All right. Anyway, two notes is pretty easy. I mean, sometimes there's going to be a small little problem like I had at the beginning there, but two notes are pretty easy. Let's go ahead and try this with three notes. Now, when you do three notes, it's actually way harder. Okay, and then we're going to do something special. If three notes are really difficult, we're going to do something a little different. La, 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 la. It's so low. La. La, la, la. I'm not exactly sure if that's right. La, 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 la. Okay, so I was wrong on that note. La. I'm gonna try to hear the note inside that mess, and it's really hard. I can't hear it in there. It's just not in there. Huh. Well, that's interesting. La. Let me hear this again. La, la. La, la. La, la, la. I think that might be it. La. This is definitely la. La. And then. And I hear a la. Aha. La, la, la. So this one here, la. Listen very carefully. When you hear this mess, it's down there. It's in there. Okay, you have to listen for the bottom tone. Now, listen for this note. It's up there. You can kind of hear that it's in there. And this one, you have to basically, if you're having trouble picking them apart, la, 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 la. Oh, I got that one wrong. Can I hear this note in there? Okay, barely. Okay, I can kind of hear it up at the top there. La, la. Obviously, it's going to be a lot easier to hear if you hear it by itself first and then listen to the grouping. La. You can barely hear it. It's so soft up there. La, la. These are easy. La, la, la. La, la. Okay. La, 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 la. So, la, la, la. All right. So we got those three notes. Again, I can hear these three separately. So we're going to listen one at a time. Listen. It's down there. It's pretty clear. This one. It's also in there. It's a little subtle. And this one is pretty loud there as well. So this one's usually the middle one's the hardest one to get. Now, if you're really struggling with these harmonic, 3-note harmonic things, you can start doing this melodically. Set the tempo up really fast, and you'll get this. La, 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 la. It's so hard for me to sing down here. La, la, la. Now, what this will have you sort of do is increase your memory of what you just heard, because you need to be able to remember what you just heard if you're going to have any chance at doing this. You have to be able to remember. So when you do this 3 notes separately like that, but you do it really fast, you're going to almost kind of hear it as like it's kind of a big mess together, right? It's not necessarily at the same exact time, but it's somewhat pretty close. La, la, la. And if you can get this down, la, 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 it'll be pretty easy to transition into them all together. La, 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 la. Now, if that becomes easy, then move on to 4 notes. This is a lot harder. La, la. These are the first 2 notes. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Oh. La, 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 la. All right, so I've sort of shown you the way that you want to do this. Now, this is even better if you have a keyboard, because when you have a keyboard, you can basically cheat a little bit. Let me see if I could find a keyboard that will allow us to do this. Okay, I've actually found one here, theonlinepianist.com. So we go here, and do you notice how this has sort of the, letters and stuff here? Basically, you're just going to choose 2 random notes on your keyboard. Here's a W and a V. Now, I'm just going to, you see how I'm sort of not playing them exactly at the same time? Like that, but I'm playing them slightly offset. La, la, la. So that way, I can rock back and forth between the 2. La, la, and it's a little easier than hearing it exactly at the same time. So you can kind of rock back and forth like that. Let's try another one. La, 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 la. We could do 3. La, la, la. So you can see like la, 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 la. If you put 3 of them, you slightly offset them. You can sort of get an idea of what they sound like by... I don't think I hit that. Oh, I can. La, la, la. Whoops, messed that one up. Notice how this is a note I messed up, right? So I'm playing it a few times. To try to hear it. La, purposefully making a mess. La, la. Okay. Now, we're going to sort of stop here with this, but essentially you get the idea. I'm going to try to be playing 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 notes kind of at the same time, and maybe sort of putting them a little bit not at the same time but slightly offset so that I can hear them a little better, or I can play them like actually completely melodically, so that way you can really hear them separately. But essentially you want to be able to hear 2 or 3 or 4 notes all together and then be able to sing each note individually separately. This is a very critical part of being able to hear anything that you hear the music and be able to pick apart what's happening inside of it. If you really can't do this, then you have to practice this in order to be able to identify what chords are or what intervals are being played or anything like that. You really have to be able to unlock the sounds in the music. So I highly recommend to practice this. It's a very good exercise.